Let me see. Last but not least, have you noticed that the black woman's loneliness blames the black man even when he is not even present in the situation? Erika Januza, who was a popular actress, black woman, she talked about being neglected or passed over in her youth. In her comments, it is clear that such rejection came from white men. She's quoted as saying, "Staying hidden is fine, but walking down the street holding hands and assuming that is another matter." So he's quoting Erica Januza talking about uh, being hidden, people not wanting to be public with you and show people that you're in a relationship with this woman. So he says, walking down the street holding hands is one thing that you're being hidden, like behind closed doors or in bedrooms. You have a sexual relationship and that's it. They don't want to, be seen with you publicly as if you have a long-term relationship. So she's saying, but walking down the street holding hands and showing the world that you're in a relationship with this black woman is another thing. All right. Now, intriguingly, let me see, where is it here? Erica Januza, let me see if I can see this right here. Erica Januza was criticized heavily back in 2019 when she went public with a relationship with a white male. All right. And this is what the question of this article was. It says, why was Erica Januza criticized for dating a white man? Well, she was criticized by mostly black men who wondered the very question at hand, like, how is it that black women point the finger at black men all the time, talking about your pomiteros, when so many black women actresses, are in relationships with white men? So that's why she faced a lot of criticism. This has happened with a couple of popular Black Brazilian women. So that's where that came from. And Erica Januza is saying, well, I got passed over in my youth. But is that true? I also have to question what he's saying here. Let me see. Let me get back to what he's saying here. He's saying that in her comments, it's clear that such rejection came from white men. But I don't know that that's necessarily true, because from what I've gathered, from what I've read and what black women have told me for years in Brazil, is that it's not just black men who do this, it's white men who do this. They'll have this type of short-term relationship, friends with benefits type of relationship, but never want to be seen holding this woman's hand walking down the street. That can apply equally to white men and black men. So I can't say definitively that she's saying, he comes to the conclusion that she feels this way because of being rejected by white men. I don't know. I think in many cases, black women feel they're rejected by both black and white men. So anyway, rapper, MC Sophia, she was a young rapper. She might have came out when she was 9, 10 years old. She was a kid rapper. She's probably in her upper teens, early 20s by now. She's been out, I don't know, maybe a decade or so. MC Sophia, who is not even of age yet, but has already made a song talking about the loneliness of black women. She's very lively. She said in an interview that she was ignored when she used to go to white parties, and when she started going to black parties, she was never again without a date. So what he's talking about here is that MC Sophia, this is her now, like I said, she's late. I'd say she's in her late teens, early 20s, but she debuted when she was just a little tight. I don't know, she might have been between 8 and 10 years old when she first came out. Popular rapper. So she puts out a song called Meu Lugar de Falar, which is another popular phrase. And she's discussing the solidão of the mulher negra. It says, when will the black men love the black women? Okay, so it says here she's 17 as of 2021. So she actually put out a song. Let me see if I can see some of this. She questions the treatment given to black women by black men and by the society as a whole. I make the question of asking in the text, when will black men love the black women? Right. So she actually made a song about the solidão, the loneliness of black women. That's what he's talking about in this particular piece, or this section of the article. Let me see here. There's no need to talk about the BBB girl. I'll get into that in a minute. Who did she cry for? For a white guy. And it wasn't just for one, it was for 2 in 1 week. If she cries for one more, will she be able to ask for music on Fantástico? That's the question. So what he's saying here is, first of all, BBB stands for Big Brother Brazil, which is one of the most popular reality shows. It's been on, I don't know, 15 to 20 years now. I think they're in the 24th season, something like that. Another season just started. Um, so he's talking about the this woman, this black woman named what was her name? Natalia. Let me see if I can find this article on here. Uh, okay, so here's the article. This is just one. This is something. There's several articles I found talking about this issue. Apparently, Natalia was on the reality show. She was rejected by not only one but two white men, and she broke out in tears. And she would, her thing was, you guys don't know how difficult it is being a black woman. She's talking about, the difficulty again. This question of the solidão da mulher negra, just talking about how difficult it is for black women to uh, get into long-term relationships because they feel like they're passed over by black men and white men. So this is what he's talking about in this particular segment of his article. What else is here? He said, well, I didn't watch that reality show. And he says apparently she was rejected by two white men on that show. And then he's saying, okay, if it happens again, will she ask for a song on Fantastico? I don't know what that means, but Fantastico is like a Sunday evening news show that comes on global television in Brazil. It's the top television network. It's kind of like a 60 minutes Sunday evening newscast, journal or whatever. So he's making fun about, and it's like, okay, she's crying on TV over being rejected by these white men. Okay, so this is how he's seeing it. There's a lot of black women who actually identify with what she feels, and I'm not to make, belittle either side. I believe that it is necessary to analyze the whole situation to come to a conclusion, but also to consider what the other side is saying, right? Okay, this art is by Isa Oliveira. I think you see what this suggests what's going on here. Actually, kind of think of it, this looks like a photo of maybe it could be the actress Erika Januza, because this looks like something similar to a scene from a novella, a Brazilian soap opera. And it looks like somebody just recreated the photo. If I can find a photo, you'll see what I'm talking about. But it looks something similar to this. Somebody recreated it and just made it into some art. All right, and so this is a picture here, if you can see it. Looks like it was influenced by this piece, by this particular picture from this novella. Anyway, he concludes, loneliness of black women is socially accepted. Loneliness of black women is socially accepted flat earthism and survives thanks to opportunistic black feminists who have learned very well from white women to distort the facts to their own benefit. If you are surrounded by black people, you don't come with this kind of talk. The so-called loneliness, when it exists, is felt by people who surround themselves with white people and then find themselves alone. It is an abyss that people dig with their own feet, and he who mixes with pigs eats bran. Okay, so that's how he sees this whole thing. I don't know if that's necessarily so, because there's so many articles online where black women explain these experiences, like they were at parties where black girls are the majority at the party, but yet they'll still be in a corner dancing by themselves because most of the guys are pursuing white women at that party. So, the debate goes on. Who's to say who's correct and who's wrong here? I see definite validity in both sides. Okay. One is, I do see, as I said, if you just look at the ranks of what we'll call high value black Brazilian men, the entertainers, the soccer players, hardly any of them have black wives. It's rare to see a top-notch, we'll say rich black Brazilian man with a black wife. It's just, and all the time I followed this, it's hard to find. But on the other hand, I think what he's pointing out here, and this is something other people have pointed out, how is it that you believe that both black men and black women in Brazil were both enslaved and psychologically, mentally, and emotionally indoctrinated to prefer whiteness? Are we going to believe that this only affects black men when it's obvious if both groups were under slavery and indoctrinated with the same ideology? Why do we believe that this affected one and not the other? As I've said, I see a lot of black Brazilian women celebrities also with white men. So the natural response is say, well, I'm with a white man because all the black men have passed me over. And I'm not denying that happens, but we also have to accept the fact that some black women are also pomideiras. It's just true. So let me just take a look at a couple of my other articles that I can use to, basically to reiterate what my point is. This article here says, let me see here. So this is an article about, and it says Mulher Preta Palmita Sim. So basically, this is a piece from it. The article surrounds the comments by a Black woman lesbian. And she says she's having trouble connecting with other Black women because they pass her up to get with white girls. So this is something that I've discussed before. Even when Black women are lesbians, this woman is basically saying, like, look, you guys do the same thing that the men do. You pass up the Black lesbians for white lesbians. Okay. Let me see what else we have here. Okay. This is a point. This is a part of another article that I have up. And this is what it's talking about. It's like a lot of Black Brazilian women, famous, have come out over, I don't have an idea of how many, I haven't followed this. It's just, I noticed a pattern here where I saw a lot of Black women who were coming out as lesbians, and then they were, hooked up with white women. How do you explain this? Okay. Yeah. Okay, fine. You're in love with, you're assuming that you're a lesbian. And then you hook up with a white woman also. So it's just like, how are you calling Black women, Black men palmiteiros when it seems that the same thing goes on with Black lesbians? These are all people who are either well known on the internet, or let me just talk about some of these people. This is Nathalie Neri. She's a popular YouTuber, and a lot of Black men were talking about this when she went public with her relationship. She's very much an influencer in terms of the Black Brazilian media on YouTube. And so then she went public with a relationship with not only a white person, but this person who she's with, I think, if I'm not mistaken, is a trans man. Was born, physically was born a female, and then, what they say, transitioned into being a male. This is one of the, most famous Black religious leaders in the country, of My Stella. She's with her partner, Graziella. I think she died a number of years ago. And so, we were having a discussion with, one of my friends. We were talking about, her legacy is in the hands of a white woman. This is Sandra de Sá, a popular, let's say, Black music singer in Brazil. She's with her girlfriend. Camila Pitanga, popular actress who defines herself as Black, very light skinned, but she considers herself Black. And she came out with her relationship with a woman, this woman right here. Marielle Franco was the Rio-based councilwoman who was murdered, I think, in 2000. Wow, what year was that? It's been about 4 or 5 years now. I think she was assassinated in 2018, 19, sometime in there. It was a huge scandal at the time. They still haven't solved her murder, but she's also, this woman, in Brazil, she's considered white, but I can see she would probably be Latina if she would live in the United States. But people are, it's like, okay, this is what her girlfriend looks like. Then you have this singing duo. They were popular, I think, in the 1990s or the early 2000s. They're called Pepe and Nene, a sister group. And they're both partnered up with 2 white girls, Talita and Thais. So again, this is the question. If Black women are so conscious about the racial identity and why Black men are leaving us behind, how do you explain that when these women, either they've been lesbians for most of their lives or they come out as lesbians, you see them with white partners? It's kind of like a contradiction there, which is, let me see, where is this? Okay. This is something else that I was talking about in this particular article here. Now, this is a popular funk singer, Ludmilla. Ludmilla is actually she's in a lesbian relationship with one of her dancers, and that girl happens to be Black. But at the time, she was dating this American entrepreneur. It's like, I look at this guy, he doesn't really look white, but probably passes as white in the United States. But this article takes this on. It just talks about, this is, again, Camila Pitanga before she came out as a lesbian. And her boyfriend, I don't know if this is the father of her children, of her child, but this is who she was with at the time. And it just goes on. This is the aforementioned Erika Januza with a soccer goalie, Edu Alves. Don't know who she's with now. But you go on. This is the Marina Silva. She was like, I think she's a minister of the environment, I think. She's known for her activism in terms of the environment. She ran for president some years ago, but this is her with her husband. You have singer Gabi Amorantos, popular singer. This is her boyfriend at the time. Another actress. This is actress Ilgi Silva and her boyfriend. And it just goes on and on. So that's the question that Black men are asking. How are you calling us ponytails when you all do the same thing? Let's see what else we have here. This is a popular Black Brazilian woman YouTuber, goes by the name of Sa Alibar. And this is the name of her video. She says, the mulher negra no palmita. She's saying Black women don't swirl. They don't have a preference for white men, right? She's, and this is a lot of argument that you hear from Black women in Brazil saying, well, we don't palmita because Black men don't want us, so we have to get in what we fit in if we get love with a white man, right? So then, she also made headlines some years ago when she started popping up with this guy right here, clearly a white man. This is one of her videos. And this is, Dia dos Namorados. Dia dos Namorados is Brazil's Valentine's Day. Okay. A lot of Black men took issue with this. Like, how are Black women talking about us being palmiteros, and then you see something like this? What else do we have here? I'm gonna skip that one. Okay, this is okay. So this is these are two of the same people that I was just talking about. You have Nathalie Neri. I forget her name already. Sa Olivar, I think her name is. Online, she's known as Preta Pariu. And I don't know if she's still with this guy, but I said she was dating this guy for a while. And then Nathalie Neri, don't know who she's with now, but this was, what would say, a trans man. A woman. This person was biologically a woman, and she now identifies as a man. So again, these are cases that people talk about online. Like, who's the real palmiteiro here? It's like we're all palmiteiros in reality, which was the name of another one of my articles. Let's see what else we have here. Okay, we talked about that. We talked about that. Okay, so as you can see, from a number of the articles that I have up online, it's talking about this topic of the solidão da mulher negra. In many of these articles here, this is Erika Januza here when she cut her hair. Palmitagem, this same article right here, palmitagem is a very, very big relationship of self-hate. People are coming to realize that this ideology of you have to choose white is something that Black Brazilians have to wake up from. So anyway, I'm going to leave this here. There's so much more that can be said about this. I just wanted to put out the perspective of a Black Brazilian male who's sitting back and watching this whole discussion of, the loneliness of Black women, and he's seeing flaws in the argument. Now, this is a debate that's going to be ongoing, and I'm going to continue to dig deeper. I'm hoping to get some more Black Brazilian men who are willing to talk honestly about this. So anyway, I'm going to end the video here. Definitely want to hear your thoughts on this particular article. Drop a couple comments in the comment section. Feel free to share this video, like to provoke the conversation. Subscribe to this channel. I think I'm approaching 60 videos now. If you see something on this channel that you like, maybe you want to subscribe. Smash that notification bell so you'll be the first to get my videos when they go up. And with that said, I'm going to end my video here, and I'll see you guys in the next video.